Hey everyone, today on People Now, new champions on Dancing with the Stars. We're reliving the moment one amazing team snagged that mirror ball trophy.
Plus, pilot Pete asks Hannah Brown to join his season of The Bachelor. We'll explain what's going on.
Kesha opening up about reclaiming her voice after going through a very public lawsuit.
Abigail Spencer is here talking about going on a quest for revenge in her new series.
And John O'Hurley giving us a sneak peek at the National Dog Show.
It's all live today on People Now. Let's go.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to People Now. Great to see you. Here we go. Talking about Tom Hanks. He
your
is this
favorite.
my favorite. He's this week's People Cover star. We can't stop talking about his legendary career, that roster of films, and the films just keep coming.
I know.
Better and better as he goes.
So in honor of his amazing career, we want to know which film of his is your favorite. It's really hard to choose, but maybe you're feeling nostalgic for his early days in Big.
Ooh, that's mine.
Or for the classic Forrest Gump.
Okay, that one too.
Maybe the dramatic Saving Private Ryan. That's my favorite.
That's yours.
Or you might enjoy his role in the romantic You've Got Mail. Vote in our People poll, or if your favorite didn't make the list, tweet us using the hashtag PeopleNow.
Well, all right, we're going to check in on that a little later. We're going to see what you think. But for now, here's what you need to know and what's trending for today. We start off with the crowning of new Dancing with the Stars champions. Consider this your spoiler alert. Let's take a quick look at the moment when the winners were announced. Watch.
The winners and new champions of Dancing with the Stars are Hannah and Alan.
Woo, there you go. Former Bachelorette Hannah Brown now has a mirror ball trophy after winning season 28 of Dancing with the Stars with her pro dancer partner, Alan Burston. What a year she's been having. I mean, just incredible. It just keeps going. Kicking things off in the first round, Brown and Burston danced the Viennese Waltz to Lover by Taylor Swift. In the second round, they performed Freestyle to Girl on Fire by Alicia Keys and Holla Back Girl by Gwen Stefani. They had a great lineup of songs. Lauren Elena took fourth place, while Allie Brooks secured third and Kel Mitchell came in second. Dancing with the Stars also announced during the finale that all four finalists, along with Kate Flannery and Sailor Brinkley Cook, will join the upcoming Dancing with the Stars live tour in 2020. Winning Dancing with the Stars wasn't the only way Hannah Brown made headlines Monday night, though. Watch this.
Making decisions for my heart. Because I know there's still something there, and I would do anything for a relationship.
Hannah Brown. What I'm about to say is extremely crazy. What would you say if I asked you to come be part of the house?
Okay, Bachelor Nation's heads are exploding.
I don't know. I think they're tricking us here.
I don't know.
She's been really busy on Dancing with the Stars, right?
I don't know. I don't know, but Peter Weber asking his ex, Hannah Brown, to join his season of The Bachelor. No one really saw it coming, or for sure exactly how it's all going to play out. But in the promo, which aired during the season finale of Dancing with the Stars, we see that Peter receives a surprise visit from Hannah, and then a second promo that aired later during that live finale, Hannah is seen exiting a limo at the Bachelor mansion. Now, the reunion, no matter what it means, it comes as a shock to Bachelor fans, including Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise alum Demi Burnett, who was sitting in the Dancing with the Stars ballroom as that first teaser aired. Seemingly in disbelief, Demi, who is close friends with Hannah, shook her head while that reunion footage played. During Hannah's season of The Bachelorette earlier this year, Peter became known as a guy, of course, who hooked up with her 4 times in a windmill during their night in the fantasy suite. No big deal, but it happened. Anyway, after Hannah ultimately decided to end things with Peter the pilot during the Bachelorette season finale in July, she told People that it was a decision she did not make lightly.
I don't know. I think that they're tricking us here. Why would she go back to an ex? He wasn't even her second choice, right?
I think you're right. I think it's like she shows up.
She's probably going to give him some
words of advice. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it still makes us wonder. And I just wonder if they've secretly met up. Well, I don't know. He started filming The Bachelor right away.
She also had such a great time in the windmill. Maybe she will give it another round.
Maybe she just showed up like, hey, just want to come say hi or whatever. Anyway, also at the finale, celebrating his Dancing with the Stars co-stars was James Van Der Beek. There, he tells us that he and his wife Kimberly are hanging in there after Kimberly's heartbreaking miscarriage. He said this: "We have so much love and support, and we really appreciate it." James adds that his wife's getting better, but he emphasized the toll that this has all taken on her. He explains, quote, "It's been physically really, really tough, way tougher than any of the births. It was a really scary situation." He says despite the circumstances, he did have fun at the Dancing with the Stars finale, and that he appreciates the reception that he and his family have received. James was sent home from the show last week, and in a video package ahead of his dance in that episode, James emotionally revealed the news that they lost the baby over the weekend. He said in part, "You never know why these things happen. That's what I've been telling my kids. All you know is that it brings you closer together, it breaks you open, it opens your heart, it deepens your appreciation, it makes you more human." That was his quote. James and Kimberly share 5 children. Kimberly has also spoken out about the tragic loss in an Instagram story where she expressed gratitude for the overwhelming support that they've received. All right, let's move on to this. In this week's issue of People, Kesha opens up about reclaiming her voice after her very public lawsuit, saying, quote, "You don't have to be defined by your past." And the singer explains, "You can go through bleep and come out on the other side swinging," adding that she wants people to know that they don't have to be a prisoner of what they've been through and they're allowed to find happiness. Kesha roared onto the scene 10 years ago, of course, infamously rap singing about brushing her teeth with a bottle of Jack on her breakout hit TikTok, but the party, it did come to a record-scratching halt in 2014. She entered rehab for an eating disorder, and she sued her producer and record label executive, Dr. Luke, alleging that he had drugged, raped, and emotionally abused her for a decade. Luke denies the allegations and has countersued for defamation and breach of contract. Their bitter lawsuit culminated in a dramatic 2016 hearing in a New York City courthouse where Kesha broke down in sobs as a judge dismissed her request to be released from her contract with Luke. Now, Kesha made a triumphant return with her 2017 album Rainbow, which earned 2 Grammy nominations. And now she's launching her Kesha Rose Beauty makeup line. That's on November 29th. She'll return to her fun-loving roots with her 4th LP, High Road. That's due out January 10th, so fans getting ready for that. Kesha's new outlook on life inspired many of her new songs, and she says that you can be joyous even if you've gone through tragedy. She's really kind of moving on to the next phase. We're happy for her. People has confirmed that Prince Andrew went ahead with his disastrous interview about his friendship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein on his own accord. There have been claims recently that his daughter, Princess Beatrice, and his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, encouraged him to speak out after Epstein died by suicide in his jail cell in August. People has confirmed, though, that the decision was actually made by Andrew and his private office alone. The Daily Mail, which first reported the story, says Fergie and Beatrice, quote, both cautioned him against doing the program, while his then private secretary, Amanda Thirsk, was more gung-ho about the whole thing, thinking that it would offer him a chance to draw a line under his association, as they put it, with Epstein. Well, since then, palace sources have confirmed that Prince William played a key role in the decision-making that led to Prince Andrew being ousted from his royal duties. After the disastrous interview about Andrew's friendship with Epstein, William was involved in conversations with the Queen about his uncle's future. The Queen talked things over with her son and heir, Prince Charles, as well, before Andrew announced that he was stepping back from his royal duties. One palace source telling People, quote, senior members of the family were involved, the Prince of Wales and other members of the family, as the Queen consulted and kept them informed. Now, it's not surprising that William was a key member of the team, as he is increasingly taking part in strategic decisions and duties. For several years, William has been carrying out investitures and honors for his grandmother and quietly held his first audience on her behalf very recently. He's also been taking a more meaningful diplomatic role during overseas visits. Meanwhile, as more charities and patronages cut their ties with Andrew, it's been suggested that all his work with and around 200 causes and charities on his roster has kind of been put into question here. In fact, royal historian Robert Lacey says in this week's issue of People, his entire public existence has been wiped out by his own behavior. Last week, Andrew was forced to pull out of a trip to Bahrain for an international meeting of his Pitch at Palace organization that promotes entrepreneurs and new ideas that are largely in the tech sector. Moving forward, though, his office is set to move out of Buckingham Palace and center around Pitch rather than official royal work. Well, all it took was this tweet by the official Game of Thrones Twitter account to send fans into meltdown this week. And now fans everywhere have started speculating on the meaning behind Winter is Coming 6 months after the show finished, of course. And one of the most common responses to the tweet was some fans hoping that this means just maybe season 8 is being remade. If you remember, the final season got a lot of heat from fans, to say the least.
Yeah, they weren't too happy. It even led to some of them starting a petition to get HBO to remake the final season. A few fans even went as far as saying season 8 was just a dream that Jon Snow had or a vision Bran Stark had, and that the real last season is still coming.
That's wishful thinking,
It's not happening at this point, okay? Let's just enjoy what we got, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this fan pleaded to the Game of Thrones account to stop playing with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a tease. But this fan replied with a hilarious gif of Jon Snow drinking angrily. They wrote, in part, It is just a tease, and it is.
So what does this all mean? While a remake of season 8 is highly unlikely, this could be a teaser for the upcoming Blu-ray DVD release for the final season.
Some fans speculating that it could be a hint at something about the Game of Thrones prequel in the works, but considering it is reportedly about dragons and House Targaryen, a reference to winter doesn't really make sense, right? If you follow the storylines.
A more plausible theory is that it has something to do with Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin finally releasing the next book in the series called, wait for it, The Winds of Winter.
But what if Game of Thrones is just trolling us one more time and only announcing the obvious that winter is actually on its way? That's what I thought. Maybe they thought it was cute, like, hey, winter's coming. It's literally almost
The first
winter.
official day of winter is December 21st, right around the corner.
Mark that down.
That might be it.
Anyway, we'll see what happens. Maybe what the point here is, it's a good litmus test that fans are really here for something else.
Yeah.
And when it
But
comes
they're not
to
going to do a remake of the final season.
no, that just seems so unlikely. But it does tell studio executives, hey, we should do something else and like feed that appetite.
Yeah.
Anyway, again, wishful thinking. You've got more for us in Star Treks.
I do. We are kicking off Star Treks today with some exciting engagement news for a New York City Real Housewife. Tinsley Mortimer will soon be Mrs. Scott Cluth. People confirms that the Real Housewives of New York City star got engaged in Chicago on Sunday. Very exciting. Scott popped the question on the steps of the Chicago Water Tower as Christmas carolers serenaded the couple in the background. Tinsley shared a video on Instagram of her dancing at Tao, Chicago, where she is excitedly kissing Scott. Bottle girls are seen holding up a sign that reads, "Welcome to Chicago, Tins." Wow, that looks like a wild time. And she captioned the video with "Best weekend ever. I love you so much, Scott," along with some heart and dancing emojis. What a party. Earlier this month at BravoCon's Real Housewives of New York City panel, Tinsley revealed that she and Scott had gotten back together. She told the audience about the reunion, saying, quote, "I'm more excited than anybody is, but I'm just so happy." Tinsley and Scott met in February of 2017 during a blind double date set up by then co-star Carol Radswell. The couple had been on and off again for a while, with their most recent breakup during the filming of season 11. Now, Tinsley explained just last year on Watch What Happens Live that the breakups are tough, but added, quote, "He lives in Chicago, I live in New York, and relationships are hard when you have the long distance, even though it's only about 2.5 hours away." That is, of course, by plane. Now, fans of the show also saw Tinsley's decision to freeze her eggs as she hopes to one day start a family. She's told Andy Cohen, quote, "Scott and I are very close, and we have talked about things like that, and we'll see." Tinsley was previously married to Topper Mortimer. The former couple eloped at 18, but had the marriage annulled. They then married again in 2002 when Tinsley was 26, but divorced in 2009. Well, we wish Tinsley and Scott all the best. Congratulations on their engagement. All right, Hoda Kotb is already wedding planning. The Today co-host got engaged to her longtime boyfriend Joel Schiffman over the weekend and tells people she hopes to get married sooner than later. She says they might have a destination wedding and tells us, quote, "All I want it to be is fun and happy, and I just want everybody to feel easy breezy." And she adds, "No coordinated bridesmaids, come as you are. That's the theme of the rest of my life." Her new hubby-to-be popped the question while they enjoyed an intimate dinner by the beach. In a photo from the engagement, Hoda is seen smiling and showing off her new ring as she sits by Joel's side. They look so thrilled there. Now, Hoda's ring features what looks like a massive radiant-cut bezel-set stone surrounded by a halo of pave sapphires. The band is covered in diamonds as well to give the design even more glitz. That is one impressive ring.
That
Hoda,
it really is,
She has
right?
a funny way to describe it, though. She says the diamond part is square and around it looks like a stop sign. And it's blue on the edge. Sapphires, I don't know, but I love it. And she adds, "He put it on and I was blown away by his choice. But I have to tell you, I know so little about rings. I just don't. I've worn the same bracelet and earrings for a year. If someone were to quiz me on what rings are which, I would be in last place. I wouldn't know anything."
Stop sign.
Yeah, it's a stop sign. Luckily, Joel consulted Hoda's friend, jeweler Jennifer Miller, for help creating the perfect design. But to Hoda, it's the meaning behind the ring that matters the most. She says in part, "It's a beautiful ring, don't get me wrong. If it was anything, I would have been 1,000% equally as happy. But the fact that he cared over the course of months to try to figure it out, I just assumed if it ever were to happen, that he would have gone to a store and bought one. It's beautiful." And she adds, "He knows I don't care. He really does know that. But he said it was important for him to choose, and he did." Love it. All right, Idina Menzel was stopping traffic Monday night at the unveiling of the iconic holiday window display at Saks Fifth Avenue.
Department stores across New York City, they really do make a spectacle each year. Saks went all out Monday night. The special performance by Idina Menzel. Yes, Elsa herself. I was there with my little girl. My little girl's like, "That doesn't look like Elsa." I'm like, well, okay, it's an actress who
You're trying
plays
to explain
her.
it,
I had to
yeah.
explain it, yeah.
Was it a magical night?
Yeah, honestly, it really was. They blew it out. I don't know what they've done in years past. It's the first time I've been to it, but there were fireworks, the whole thing. It was huge.
Gorgeous. Now, the yearly tradition is a favorite here in New York, and this year's window theme is Frozen 2, so nice collaboration between Disney and Saks.
Yeah, the 6 windows show Elsa's journey to discovering her own power, navigating her way through all the elements, wind, fire, water, and earth.
And there were other characters there to help Elsa celebrate. You got Olaf, Kristoff, and Anna. Adina was also accompanied by the Young People's Chorus of New York City.
Yeah, she sang a song from Frozen. She also sang a song off of her new album. It was really great. The show had quite the grand finale. Like I said, light show, fireworks. It was really spectacular. In addition to their window display, Saks Fifth Avenue is hosting an immersive experience inside their store as well. There's an enchanted forest where fans of the film can visit the world of Frozen 2 and experience Elsa's journey for themselves.
The additional display runs until Christmas Eve, December 24th, and you can see the store's Frozen-themed windows up until January 2nd. All right, those are your Star Tracks for today.
All right, guys, stay with us. We're talking with Abigail Spencer about her new Femme Fatale Hulu series, plus dogs. Enough said, really. John O'Hurley here live along with some four-legged friends ahead of the annual National Dog Show. Stick around.
All right, here's a story we are loving in this week's issue of People. Sarah Cunningham loves being an officiant at weddings, but she started to notice a heartbreaking theme while performing same-sex unions. So sometimes disapproving parents didn't attend their kids' big day.
So in July of last year, Cunningham posted on Facebook, "If you need a mom to attend your same-sex wedding because your biological mom won't, call me. I'm there. I'll be your biggest fan." And she added, "I'll even bring the bubbles."
This is so sweet, and Sarah tells us the response was overwhelming. She says countless couples wanted a proxy mom, and other supportive moms and dads even offered to be surrogate parents at same-sex weddings as well.
This cause hits home for the Cunningham family. For many years, Sarah refused to believe that her son Parker was gay. She says her initial mindset sprang from her conservative religious faith. She said, "I'd absorbed these ideas that homosexuality was condemned by God. I was worried about my son's eternal damnation."
Yeah, she even says that when Parker officially came out at 21, she went into a deep depression. And finally, after Parker told his mother he needed her, she rallied. She attended a pride parade where she met people whose parents had ostracized them for being gay.
She felt such compassion for them that she launched her own nonprofit. It's called Free Mom Hugs. It offers moral support and emergency assistance to marginalized members of the LGBTQ community.
Yeah, soon Sarah began officiating at same-sex weddings, which led to the viral Facebook post and eventually to being an as-needed stand-in mom.
And to Parker, his mom is a hero. He says being her son is amazing. What she does is beautiful. It does change lives. And he adds, "She's uniting people all around the country. I'm very proud and thankful for her."
I love her so much.
Yeah, she's really gone out of her way. I mean, and obviously that personal experience changed everything for her, that she would go to these lengths to kind of help other people in their experiences.
Yeah, for more on Sarah's inspiring journey, pick up the new issue of People on newsstands now.
All right, despite his award-winning career and being one of the world's most popular actors, Tom Hanks wasn't sure he should take on the role of beloved TV icon Fred Rogers in the new movie A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Well, as Tom tells CBS Morning News, quote, "There's no such thing as an easy role to do. The moment I said yes, I began to have the night sweats." I mean, even Tom Hanks gets nervous. Can you imagine?
Well, it's one of those things where even though it's Tom Hanks, this is such an iconic role.
Yeah.
You have to really dial it in and nail it.
But after seeing the movie, I think he was the perfect choice. I can't imagine anyone else doing it.
No, absolutely not. And the Oscar winner also admitted that taking on the role was terrifying for him. It turned it down a couple of times before the director, Marielle Heller, was able to convince him to do it.
Yeah, Heller telling People in this week's cover story, quote, "He came in and immediately called me boss. He knows I'm setting the tone and he's respectful of letting that be the case, even though he's Tom Hanks, which is just amazing."
And while Fred Rogers and Tom Hanks share similar beloved by the public statuses, they are not at all the same person. Tom had to work hard to learn Mr. Rogers' slower, more deliberate mannerisms.
And he really nailed that.
He really did.
Yeah, Tom told Ellen more about that in an episode of her show airing Tuesday. Take a look.
But you are so good as him, because it is a whole different cadence, how slowly you had to talk. Everything about him must have been difficult to play.
Yeah, Mari Heller, our boss, the filmmaker, would come to me and say, "Slow down." There's Mari and I. She was going for this obtuse thing, which was sort of like aggressive generosity. And I think that's what Fred practiced.
Now, meanwhile, Tom's co-star in the movie, Matthew Rhys, tells People, quote, "I've said in a soundbite kind of way that America's dad is playing America's dad, but they are two very different people. Tom is incredibly fast, sharp-witted, humorous in that lightning quick way, and he moves and talks very differently from Fred Rogers."
And Tom was also careful not to do an impersonation of Rogers and didn't want to overdo it with the hair and the makeup. He just wore a wig, eyebrows, and of course, the TV host trademark cardigan.
Matthew Rhys adds, quote, "It was an embodiment and an essence, and when you see the transformation, you realize that wily old Fox Hanks has gone and done it again."
Yeah, Tom Hanks will be honored with the Cecil B. DeMille Award at the 2020 Golden Globes in January, and you can catch A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. It's now in theaters.
All right, we've been asking you to vote on your favorite Tom Hanks film in our People poll, and there's a scene from Big. I love that movie. It's my favorite of all time.
Let's see. Forrest Gump. Yeah, that's not too surprising.
Wait, Big is only 11? What are you people?
I don't know.
What's going on?
Rally the people, Jeremy.
We've also gotten some write-in recount here. We've got some write-in votes for The Burbs and Castaway, The Green Mile.
Yeah, Castaway.
League of Their Own, Sleepless in I mean, literally
He's in a lot of
isn't
epic
every
movies.
movie that he does is the best movie. All right, keep voting. For now, we move on to this. Watch.
They've corrupted everything down south.
These are good times we're living in. We're untouchable.
And if you get in their way, they don't mind shedding a little blood. To the point where my brother and some others dragged me through a field with their truck.
Why would they do that for?
I'm afraid that part is a little more complicated.
Yeah, definitely complicated, for sure. Abigail Spencer stars as a femme fatale at a vengeful campaign against her brother and his gang after she was left for dead. Abigail joins us now. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I love watching you watch dance
me
along.
and be complicated.
Yeah, right?
Just being complicated.
Also, loving the blonde hair. That's a wig, right?
Well, I don't know. Is it? I don't know.
Or is this a wig?
Do you want some more fun? That's the question.
I just take off my whole face.
Yeah, right.
Did you get to keep it?
I am the keeper of the wigs, because there's multiple wigs, and there's multiple looks on the show. I mean, she is complicated. I play a woman named Doris, who actually is a woman named Catherine. So we go back in time to her younger self where the inciting incident of the show takes place, and then you meet her later as this person she's created named Doris.
Let's talk about that a little bit. It looks like a lot of fun. A lot of people obviously know you from Timeless. Both of these are dynamic characters, these sort of strong female roles. What do you love most? That's right.
Yeah.
But what do you love most about kind of sinking your teeth into these? I feel like you seem like you really get into it and it fulfills you.
Yes. I mean, I hope and feel that I'm in my calling on the planet, being an actor. And I always say I'm so lucky that I got this kind of wave of the golden age of television, all these incredible female roles that I've been able to play, all these incredible women that I get to embody. And after Timeless, I was looking for something different. I kept saying, like, I want to play a monster, you know? How do I play a monster? And she actually has a gang called the Monster Gang. And I wanted a transformation. So, and then literally Reprisal kind of landed in my lap.
That's so great.
I had to say
Such a great cast.
Yeah,
You filmed in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Yes,
Did you get any off time? Go to the beaches? What did that look like when you weren't filming?
I mean, yeah, I was just relaxing in Wilmington. Like, what are we even doing here? My son, actually, he went and did surf camp right at Wrightsville Beach right there, and he loved it. And I come from a long line of surfers. My dad was a professional surfer. My brothers are. We own surf shops on the Gulf Coast, Interlight Surf Shop. So,
Oh, you guys are
So we
legit.
kind of got him right into surf camp.
So you guys are probably pretty, like, I don't know, like East Coast surfing versus West Coast
Well,
versus
we're like,
Gulf.
we're Gulf Coast surfers.
Okay.
So we're like, like you gotta really love
You gotta love
surfing
it.
to surf.
Your skills must be up there, right?
I am can get up on a board and I can catch a wave.
Yeah?
And do that sometimes.
Okay. All right.
Surfing's really hard.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
you
no,
against
it is.
you and your son. Is he better?
Yeah, well, because he just went to surf camp.
Yeah. Okay. The skills are fresh and sharp.
Yeah, fresh. Yeah.
By the way, that area of North Carolina, really great. My family used to vacation there all the time.
yeah,
It really is a relaxing
it's
place.
beautiful.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
I would
Lovely.
hope that you got to kind of ease in at times.
Yeah, I mean a little bit. I traveled a lot.
Yeah.
I'm based out of LA, so I was going back and forth. I was coming to New York a lot.
Yeah.
It was my second home. So
Yeah.
when we're not shooting, you're just trying to fit it all in.
All right. Are we going to be seeing you play Owen Hunt's sister on Grey's anytime soon?
That is
switch gears
a
abruptly.
great question. Would you like me to say
Yeah,
that?
of course.
Okay. Well, hopefully you'll get your wish. So.
We just had Kevin McKidd here a couple weeks ago.
Love him.
He's so wonderful.
He's so wonderful. He bursts into song with me all the time. So I'll start a song and and then we'll be duetting to each other on set. It's really, really fun.
What's the
It's
go-to?
great.
Like,
that's so funny. What were we singing? I think we were singing maybe Carousel or
musical
we go back.
theater.
Yeah. He's a musical theater
Yeah.
guy. I don't know if you know that, but he's like a full musical theater guy. So I can't remember, but we'll do like call and response songs. I mean, sometimes it'll be Lady Gaga. You know, it's like.
This is making me feel really good about you going back to be on Grey's again.
Yeah, great camaraderie. Well,
Seems
when
like
he was here, he also said that he used to have a crush on Debbie Allen.
She's very crushable, by the way. I think we all have a collective crush on her.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise you.
No, no. And because he's a musical theater guy, I mean, he'll just, he'll go into a number, we'll be dancing, like, I'll be dancing. I'm like, Debbie, what do you think of this number? And she's like, higher, honey. Hit your mark, honey. She's so incredible. Really, I mean, true royalty.
Again, gushing about the Grey's life on set, seems like you're going back. Okay, all right. Let's talk about this. Last time you were here, you and I talked, and it was leading up to your former Suits co-star Meghan Markle's wedding.
That's right.
It turns out that was
She
kind of.
got married.
She did.
Yeah.
We
it happened.
We heard about that. You were looking great at that ceremony. It looked like such a fun time.
Well, just trying to honor the bride.
Was it the best wedding you've ever attended?
I would say so. Yeah. I mean, she's incredible, and everything was an extension of them and their love, and I felt honored to be there.
Showing up with Priyanka, was she the best wedding date you've ever had?
We went in style. Let's say that.
I mean, last time you were here, you said that Meghan kind of influences your own style. Do you ever see her wear something and then you're like, you call her up and you're like, can I borrow that?
I mean, she always looks incredible. So I think it's more just like rooting her on and cheering her on and saying, how do you look so incredible all the time? Because she does it all herself.
She really does.
Well, we love your friendship. Before you go, we're gonna play a little confess sesh.
Oh, okay.
All right, so all you have to do,
okay. Do I need to go into a box?
Jar. You pull out a question and then you just answer it.
Okay, great. Yeah, sounds easier than it is.
Maybe, we'll see.
What is your one must-have stylish winter accessory? Actually, I just got. I'm fully in on the leopard print train.
Oh yeah.
I'm all in on it.
right
I've got a vintage leopard coat. I came in. I've got a hunting season leopard print bag. So that's my
Is the
seasonal
coat from
thing.
Timeless? Don't you have a lot of stuff from that?
It's
show?
actually from the costume
Is
designer
it?
from Timeless.
I remember that you said
I
that
call her
before,
up and
yeah.
I'm like, can I borrow that leopard coat? That's so great. This is my covert hand phone that I call her on.
Yeah, that's great. There's time for more.
I do more.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, great. What is your favorite holiday tradition? I'm a Christmas girl. I just love waking up, well, now that I'm a mom with my son, and just hiding the presents and running under the tree. And I like the Christmas morning of it all.
Are you in tune to like what he's into? Is it tough to get gifts for him at this point, or?
Well, because he's like, can I have an iPhone 11? And I'm like, no. No, you cannot.
Yeah.
And it's all about like definitely gaming, and
Okay,
everyone's
yeah.
into that. But he is super into baseball. He just got into skateboarding.
Okay.
So I've been taking him to skate parks, and I mean, with my
cool.
heritage.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we had a half pipe in my backyard growing up, so I grew up with all of my brothers skateboarding, and
So cool.
yeah, I'm so cool.
We can do another one.
Oh,
We just
I
have to
feel
keep
so
going.
special.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a favorite reality show? Oh my gosh, I just binged Rhythm and Flow on Netflix. It's Cardi B and Chance the Rapper and T.I. are the judges,
yeah.
and it's American Idol, but for the next great rap star.
Such a good idea.
And D-Smoke, who won? Hey, D-Smoke. Like, just completely obsessed. Watched with my boyfriend in 2 days.
Your rap game on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being
It
the best.
is not.
Non-existent.
Well, it's like, give me a beat. No, it's.
Well, don't tempt us because we can do it. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh,
it's
thanks
so
for
good to
having
talk to
me.
you.
Yeah,
as
you
always.
too,
Congrats
James.
on
Yeah,
everything.
good to see you.
Guys, make sure to watch Abigail on a quest for revenge in the new Femme Fatale series, reprising, premiering on Hulu Monday, December 6th.
Jeannie Mai is speaking out about her childhood trauma. In this week's issue of People, the Real host opens up about being sexually abused by a family member for 5 years. Her abuser was a teenage relative who was supposed to watch her as a child while her parents were at work.
Now, Jeannie was only 9 years old at the time, and unfortunately, when she told her mother what had happened to her, Jeannie says that her mother insisted that he didn't mean it. And she added by saying, quote, "The first time I was told as a child that what I saw or felt wasn't true, that was the first time I learned not to trust myself."
And she adds, when I look at the 5 years that he abused me, I believed him over myself. Then when I looked to my mom for help, her dismissing of the situation taught me to dismiss my intuition. At 16, Jeannie ran away from home to San Francisco, where she took a job as a makeup artist at a strip club that paid $50 a month, and then she was crashing on couches.
Yeah, Jeannie eventually landed a job at MAC Cosmetics, where she rubbed elbows with celebrities, and after an internship at a local station and a move to Los Angeles, she pivoted to TV, and hosting fashion shows was something she did before joining The Real in 2013.
Now that experience humbled Jeannie. She says, "I'm not afraid to not have love because I have the love inside of me." Jeannie and her mother have since reconciled, but Jeannie admits she still has anxiety with social situations and trust issues, and it follows her into her work life, friendships, and relationships.
But it seems that she is working on it. Jeannie Mai has been quietly dating rapper and philanthropist Jeezy for about a year. She says their dedication to helping others bonded them instantly, and she explained, quote, "We both went through enough in our life to connect on the understanding that love should feel safe, honest, and pure." And she added immediately, "That was a magnetic attraction. We are very attracted to each other's passions to serve. So because we have a mutual joy of having purpose, we're going to find a way to do that together."
The couple met on The Real and confirmed their relationship in August. Their romance comes after Jeannie's, quote, draining divorce from TV host Freddie Hartise after 10 years of marriage. They announced their split in October of 2017.
While with her ex-husband, Jeannie was open about not wanting to become a mom. And now, when asked about the possibility of marriage and babies, she laughs and tells us, "You're going to have to ask me when I'm not ovulating." She says she's too much emo girl. And then she added, "I'm working on safe right now. Safe is the focus."
Yeah, the two first sparked dating rumors back in January when Malika Hack shared a photo on her Instagram of Jeannie and Jeezy, along with Malika and her boyfriend OT Genesis, Lori Harvey, and singer Trey Songz. 1 week later, on an episode of The Real, Jeannie said this, "Jeezy and I hang out. He's very special to me, so we really don't have a label to define what it is we're doing. We're just having a good time together." Well, Jeannie actually stopped by the studio back in June. Our guest host, Mako, and I asked if she and Jeezy were still hanging out at that time. Watch.
That's one thing I've learned is just like keeping it to myself. It's a big year for me, so when something exciting happens, I promise I'll be able to
You'll
share.
stop by People Now and tell us?
Yes.
Okay.
I will
You're
do
having
that.
fun, you're dating.
Yeah, I'm having a good time, and most of all, like I learned what self-love is about, so now I know how to recognize what's healthy out there.
Has anyone even read the evidence this man has collected? The willful negligence, the corruption? Read it. And then tell me we should be sitting on our asses. That's the reason why Americans hate lawyers. This is the crap that fuels the Ralph Naders of the world. We should want to nail DuPont.
In the new thriller Dark Waters, Tim Robbins plays a partner at a law firm who has to make the tough decision to go after the powerful chemical company DuPont.
Yeah, it's based on real-life events. A lot at stake in this story. Tim told me why he hopes his character can inspire other people in power. Watch.
I think from the start, he understood there was something there. There was something wrong. I don't think he knew the degree of the malfeasance, but I guess the major decision he had to make was once he understood the degree of corruption and criminality, whether they were going to put the weight of the Taft Law behind this case. And for him to do so is unusual, unexpected, and I wanted to be part of that story because hopefully it'll inspire other people in positions of power to be guided by a moral principle instead of a financial bottom line.
I watched this movie. It's a crazy story. It actually happened at a town very close to where I grew up. And the movie's directed by Todd Haynes, and he told me why he thought the story was one that had to be told. Take a look.
The story is astonishing. The story is enraging. The story is something that people need to know for their own health and for their own understanding of the relationship between individuals and systems of power and our government and our so-called regulatory system in this country that has so systematically been favoring industry ever since arguably the Reagan administration. And yet the thing that ultimately hooked me, I think, is the decency and the fragility and the risk that this individual took and the stress that he was put under in trying to tell this story.
Yeah, so much at stake here as the public was exposed to chemicals and things that turned out to be very harmful. Mark Ruffalo puts on an amazing performance in this movie. Tim was full of praise for Mark.
I think he's a really tremendous actor and a tremendous person as well, one of the rare ones in Hollywood. he disappears in this role. He's really, you know, when I came on the set, I was like, you know, geez, what happened to Mark?
It's true.
He's like, and yeah, tremendous performance.
Yeah, fascinating stuff there. Now, Dark Waters is playing in select theaters right now. It will expand to a wider release on November 29th before releasing nationwide on December 6th.
All right, it's the best thing to watch on TV after Thursday's Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. It's a family favorite, the annual National Dog Show. Presented by Purina, today we're getting prepped and pepped by one of the show's hosts. The one and only, John O'Hurley. So good to have you back every year, sir. We really appreciate it.
And we're joined by these adorable pups. What are their names?
Well, this is Aurora. Aurora is a beautifully dappled bull terrier. Actually, a beautiful, beautiful dog. Yeah. And this is one of my favorites. I actually grew up with this breed. Yeah. This is the English Springer Spaniel. They are just wonderful dogs. And how about the coat on this one? This is the soft-coated Wheaton Terrier.
Yeah, and a big fan of chicken treats in my hand.
Well, aren't we all? you and I have been tossing back a few ourselves.
That's right. That's right.
Will they be competing this year?
What's that?
Will they be competing this year?
These are competition dogs. Each one of these has been best in breed.
Wow.
Really congratulations, champs.
Unlike any of the three of us, I hate to say, but we are in the presence of great.
Millions of people obviously tune in for this each year. It's a big deal. You've been involved since the beginning. This will be your 18th year hosting.
18th
right?
year, 2002.
How did this come about, secure its spot after the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? Because that's a big time slot.
You know, it's a very funny story, actually. John Miller, who's the head of NBC Sports, took home Best in Show, that wonderful Michael McKean movie, which was a parody of Westminster and other dog shows. And he watched it twice over the weekend, and he came through with a brilliant idea at the Monday morning meeting at NBC Sports and said, I know what we're going to do after the Macy's Thanksgiving Day with that 2-hour slot that we can't seem to find it. He said, we're going to do a dog show.
Yeah, the real-life version of it.
They about laughed him out of the office, but by the end of the day, he'd contacted the Kennel Club of Philadelphia, which is the which is one of their shows. He licensed it as the National Dog Show. He got Purina as our presenting sponsor, which they've been for 18 years. And on Tuesday morning, he calls me in Los Angeles. I answer the phone and I say hello, and he said, woof. Woof. And that's how this whole thing started.
That is it.
And the first year, we got 19 million people watching it. It was a ratings surprise and extravaganza.
So incredible.
We now have over 30 million people watching the It's the #1 show that NBC does all year long by far, and the most watched dog show in all of the world times 30.
Wow.
And
that's
after
so
18
incredible.
years,
18
what
years
does
now.
your preparation look like now?
Well, you know, when we started off, there were 165 different breeds, and I didn't know a blessed one of them. But I've learned over the years. I've had a very good coach and my partner there, David Fry, who's the most knowledgeable man in the world of dogs, and he's taught me quite a bit. So for me, it's about learning the breeds and learning the new breeds, because every year we always introduce a new breed. This year, we're introducing an Azawak, which is an African sight hound, which looks as though it looks as though a greyhound swallowed an American foxhound, but without the calories. But it's a wonderful, beautiful, beautiful dog. What's going on here?
Uh-oh, there we go.
Squeak toy.
I'm sorry, I'm a little gassy.
Dogs obviously sometimes unpredictable, as we see here. Yeah. Throughout all the years of hosting this show, what's kind of the strangest thing you've ever seen or experienced?
Well, during the Best in Show. Now, the Best in Show is okay, all right, sweetheart, you want to get down there? I'm not going to stop you, because you'll take my arm with it.
You're a strong dog, huh?
Yes. The Great Dane walking by in the Best of Show.
And she's free. And she's free.
We have a runner.
Don't worry, we'll have her in a second.
But so anyway, let me finish the story.
Yeah.
The Great Dane walks by the NBC booth and stops. This is the Best in Show. Now, this is the last 7 dogs. They're all going for the big prize. Dane stops right there, looks me straight in the eye, squats down, and makes an editorial comment on my performance right there in front. And I mean the size of something that a hazmat team would clean up. It looked like they were
it was an event.
Cleaning up after the elephants. They brought it in.
Wow.
So,
okay. Well, I'd say that would be.
But it underscores. Remember, these are just dogs being dogs.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they are the best of the best. Each one of the dogs you'll see, over 2,000 of them are breed winners of their own. So you're seeing the best dogs in the country when you're seeing the National Dog Show presented by Purina.
Yeah, well, hosting the show, you obviously love dogs. Did you grow up with pets? Was there a certain pet that changed your life?
Ever since I can remember, I've had a dog in my lap. And I wrote in one of my first books about dogs, anyway, I said I'm a better man with a dog in my lap, as you are with a better woman. But they do. They take the edges, the rough edges off our lives, and they're just there to be our companions.
Last year, Whiskey the Whippet took home the title Best in Show. Big
Best
deal.
in Show, and also won the Beverly Hills show, which we do on the other side of
What will this year's pup need to take that title?
Well, we have more of the top 10 dogs than we have ever had in the 18 years of the show. So it's going to be anybody's ball game. But remember, it's a dog show, so they have to come to show, and it could be anybody's game, really.
Here's what I want to know, just for the average dog owner. Everyone thinks their dog's the best, just like kids, I get it. But what's something that the average dog owner can look to in their dog to say, hey, my dog actually does have something special? Or is it, sort of this lifestyle of training?
You know, all of these dogs are not only wonderfully socialized, but they're wonderfully trained. Because to be a show dog, remember, you can't. There are no dog fights in the ring. You know, we have 2,000 dogs and not a single dog fight, and that's
impressive, right?
Day. Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. But what does it take to have a show dog? Well, actually, the dog has to prescribe to a written standard. In other words, the dog has a written standard that's done by the people that own these dogs. Because what we're doing is we're keeping alive the rich history of breeding. All of these dogs were bred for a reason, a form and a function. They were not just dogs weren't pets growing up. When we were, when our knuckles scraped the ground 4,000 years ago, we needed the dogs to keep us alive. We needed them for hunting, for ratting. Remember those halcyon days of ratting?
Of course I do.
We don't remember them anymore, do we? No, varmint and vermin. But we needed them to survive. Dogs were part of our survival chain, and as well as companions as well. But now we have the luxury of having them as pets. But we like to celebrate this rich history of breeding and try to keep the form and the function that they were historically bred to do.
Yeah, all right, before we let you go, everyone remembers you as the iconic Jay Peterman on Seinfeld. It's been 20 years. Where do you think the character would be now?
I think, I really think that his penchant for poetry and travel would have gotten the better of him. And he'd be off in Papua New Guinea, learning the gentle art of bikini waxing.
Is he a dog lover? Oh,
yes. I think he would be a big dog lover. I think he would be something. It would be something that would be, like a Rhodesian Ridgeback that would have hunted lions.
Ooh, very specific. I like that. What shows do you watch now that maybe have any tinge of the game-changing nature of the shows you were part of?
I don't watch a lot of television, but my guilty pleasure is still watching Charlie Sheen in 2.5 Men.
Oh, yeah.
I can't. And quite frankly, my 12-year-old son is now watching it too, which I don't know is such a good idea because I haven't had to have the conversation about the birds and the bees with him because Charlie Sheen is taking care of it.
Oh, good. It's a functional viewing.
Absolutely.
A practical.
You go watch the show and figure that out.
It's so good to talk to you.
Yes, thanks for coming here, bringing the dogs. And everyone be sure to tune into the NBC's National Dog Show presented by Purina on Thanksgiving Day, November 28th at noon in all time zones.
Woo! All right.
Dogs until noon.
Dogs until noon.
Dogs until 2.
Dogs until 2. Sorry, there you go. Coming up tomorrow, guys, Candace Cameron Bure getting us in the holiday spirit. Their new film, Christmas Town, shares what it's been like saying goodbye to Fuller House.
Plus, Modern Family star Julie Bowen is giving us some hints on what we might see in the sitcom's finale. See, she's all yours now, Jeremy.
Oh, wow.
Thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from this Empire star. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hi, I'm Taraji P. Henson, and this is One Last Thing. My last big splurge was a condominium. Oh, the last TV show I binge watched was Snowfall.
I want to be careful about who know the recipe.
The last song stuck in my head was I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas.
And may all your Christmases be white.
Because we just filmed the Christmas episode of Empire.